Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's My Little Pony Generation 5, the debut movie. It's supposed to be a whole new generation, thousands of years on from the time of our main six, which is very exciting. It gives them ample excuse to change whatever they want, because just like as in human history, things can drastically change. So I don't even mind that it looks like there's like smartphones and stuff like that. Like, people need to realize that this is what I've seen this as the equivalent as is that the MLP in G4 that we were used to, think of it like the medieval castle days of our time. Is it so outlandish that these ponies in thousands of years have done what we managed in less than that? I mean, if you think about it, technology like the internet and stuff, a lot of us are older than it. Like, it's not been around that long, but look how quickly it's advanced once people knew how to do it. Look how far technology exploded since the 1900s. We've gone step, up step, up step, up step, up step within generations. MLP has had a lot longer than that, so nobody should be complaining about a change in technology. If anything, it's a show about horses, isn't it more like in tune with the whole thing of being a horse, that everything's more natural, that everything's all straw and stone and blah blah blah. Well, as long as they're good characters, like, who cares what form they're in or what they're using? I'm more bothered about the stories they go through as people, like as personalities. That doesn't really bother me. Like, the technology of G4 was inconsistent anyway, because we had sort of light bulbs, we had like propeller technology, we had like intercom systems, like, and yet other times it was stone and straw. So it was very inconsistent, but coming ahead thousands of years, the thing that is most curious for me is how everything broke apart. Because as we saw in the last problem, which was as the main six were entering their twilight years, I don't mean for the pun, but people are going to point it out anyway, like the main six in their twilight years, you know, what they built was like the ultimate melting pot of all those different races and cultures. So never mind Earth ponies, unicorns and Pegasi, they had dragons, hippogriffs, griffins, all sorts, all congregating, all coming and going as they pleased. So where did it all go wrong? Well, I guess the most obvious answer is that over time, people less in tune with the magic of friendship started to succeed the ones that came before them, and over time the values got lost, and then over further time, distrust happened again, and then there was more division, and we basically went back to how things were pre-Equestria days, where the three tribes definitely hated each other. Now, I've seen debate over whether or not the Wendigos should have had a thing to say once everything fell apart, but I agree with the theory that it seems like when Twilight Harmony blasted them away in the final conflict of G4, she might have destroyed them. Like, she might have, like, permanently sent them away. So even if distrust happened again, they might have been gone for good. But if that's the explanation, then it's a plausible one, and I won't deny it. But yeah, I was always willing to give this a shot, because how many people were willing to give G4 a shot? Like, I'm pretty sure it started with a thread on 4chan saying, hey, actually, you know what? I sat and watched this. It's actually pretty good. And then more and more people started almost getting into it ironically, but then they were realizing, oh, wait, yeah, shit, this is good. And the fandom got its little start there and then exploded. onto the internet and we latched onto it super hard. You know, but in the beginning, it was like, oh, they're coming out with a new My Little Pony. Like, no one ever thought that it would be good because of what's come before it. Like, so why would we show that same skepticism to G5, knowing that there are a lot of G4 superfans who are on board doing this? People who, some of them who are young even grew up on G4, and they have nothing but love to give back to. So there's people who already know what made G4 good working on G5. And there are a lot of people I've seen, even people who were willing to give this movie a chance. Wow, it's exceeded my expectations, they're saying. Like, this is actually a really cool setup. So I'm quite hyped for this. I have avoided the trailer. I didn't react to that. I have avoided as many spoiler images as I can. And I think I've done pretty well. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm actually kind of nervous because this is new territory. It's a whole new cast of characters. And the main thing I'm curious about is, are they ever going to find out what happened? Like, I know that might be like a mystery to uncover because it's been so many years. Like, it used to be so good in ancient times. Why are things so different now? That's something we all want to find out, I think. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into this because I don't have all day today. Oh, by the way, this is a big test in terms of whether or not I'm going to react to the series when it comes out. Because obviously I was a G4 reactor from season 4 all the way through to the end. So if this ends up impressing me or intriguing me to watch more, I will react to G5. But if I'm lukewarm on it, I might give it a pass and just not react, even if I might watch from time to time or watch other people react to it. If I end up not liking it, debating posting the reaction. I'm just kidding. You'll always get my honest thoughts. But yeah, basically, I'm glad they came out with the movie first. It gives me the chance to see if I'd be into it, so that if I am, I can then get into the show without problem. So, with that being said, let the test begin. That was G5, the introductory movie, the tale of how they brought magic back and reintroduced the idea of the 3 tribes being friends again. So that saves them having to establish all of that within the show, and they can just kick straight on into it. That's actually very clever. They don't have to waste time setting everything up like they did in Friendship is Magic, where they had to do the whole establishing the main 6 meeting and becoming the elements of harmony and blah 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 before they could then kick on. This movie takes care of the establishment for the show, and it did it with superb animation, great humour. Over 90% of the humour of this movie landing is not something I was expecting going into this. Fantastic voice acting and singing. The songs were all great, and obviously I have 2 standout favourites among those. The characters were all likeable. Even Sprout, he was being a little shit, but there was also a sympathetic element to him because he had been enabled to be this way by his mother, who then, to her credit, realised what a monster she created and tried to rein him in again. Like, so pretty much everybody had some likability to them in this. And yeah, the animation, as I said, gorgeous. As I said, it was giving me Pixar vibes at time with how smooth and detailed everything was. And I know that they can't possibly do it to this level for the animated series, but it gives me hope for the way it's going to be written, voice acted, and whatever. Obviously, this movie is oozing with how much they care. Remember all the doom posting and fear-mongering about how, oh, this is gonna show how they never cared about us, we're gonna go back to old ways, My Little Pony is gonna become a cringe topic once again. Not in terms of brony cringe, but in terms of, oh, what a stupid, fluffy little girls show that people saw the older generations as being. You know, something vapid, something flavourless, something... You know what I mean? And this was anything but that. This had as much soul and heart as any of G4's best episodes ever had. And that's a fantastic sign. I said before I watched this that this would be a test to see if G5 is something that would interest me in going forward. Flying colours. And whether I mean that as a pun or not, you could debate about it. Because I realised it the moment it left my mouth, but I could also accept it as a joke. Like, this passed with flying colours. Flying colours of friendship and wings and flying. Fantastic. This movie did not put a single foot wrong with me. I adore it. The big draws for me are the humour. The sense of humour is just as sharp as it ever was in G4. That was a big hurdle for me to get over. If they were going to cringe, if they were going to fill this with cringe and stuff that's dated, or like, how do you do, fellow kids kind of humour, it might have lost me. That's what people were fearing. But no, you saw in the first half of the movie how often Hitch and Sprout kept making me laugh with their interactions. Like, there was genuine character comedy throughout. It was everywhere, and it was so well done. That's the big draw for me. And also the quality of the songs. Almost everyone was a bop. All of them were well sung by fantastic singers. Like I said, that Sprout song, the big draw for that was that epic voice of his. Like, when it gets into the singing range, that was a really, really good singing voice. And there was some great sections of that song, and all of the rock homages, like Smells Like Teen Spirit and Seven Nation Army, and I'm sure there's more waiting for me when I go back and watch it again. It was just a big, loving shout out to that style of music. And, well, like I say, it might be narrowly pipped by the song that happened in the Unicorn Forest, because the verses on that, with the way they were set up, with the rhyme scheme and the rhythm of the music, it had my heart pumping like, yes, this is an awesome piece of music. It spoke to my soul, and that's what makes it the better song, in my opinion. Like, I thought, yes, this is what I want to be watching. This gives me the feeling of some of G4's best songs. I really appreciate all the love shown to G4, by the way, including the little animatic light thing we got at the start, and all of the toys and stuff, and all the research into how things used to be and stuff. To consider that that's all ancient history is still mind-boggling, but it's really cool to see how things have been recontextualized. Oh my gosh. This whole thing was done very well. I especially loved how nobody was an out-and-out asshole in this. Everybody was quick to see reason when it came in front of them. Nobody kept up a stubborn act for long. That's often a problem with films like this, when a character holds on to something for too long and then it doesn't feel worth it when they turn around. That didn't happen here. There was a realistic reaction to anything any one character saw in front of them, and they changed their opinion naturally and logically. Like, I really appreciated how, at the moment that Sunny got dejected, everybody was on board and actually a little disappointed. That's good, that's great. And I loved how it's what convinced them to follow and try and convince her to not give up, which is what led to the confrontation with Sprout. But yeah, oh my gosh, standout song was Izzy, I think. Yeah, it was, the standout song was Izzy's. Standout character was Hitch. I thought he was hilarious, a good dude at heart, and he had such a likable disposition. Standout character Hitch, standout song Izzy's in the Forest. Oh, the visuals throughout were stunning. As I said, I thought the movie flowed well. I noticed that it's been given quite much longer runtime. I mean, even paused during the foreign credits. This says like an hour and 30 minutes on my player. Now, even accounting for the long credits I've just watched through and the Netflix intro and stuff like that, it's still like an hour and 20-minute movie, pretty much. Like, that's a bit longer than most kids' movies tend to be. So they allowed more breathing room for what was happening and for us to get to know the characters and stuff like that. This went so well. As far as first impressions go, they couldn't have done any better. This is a definite 10 out of 10 win. But my interest in watching G5 has never been higher, so I shall be seeing you for G5 as soon as possible, and I shall see you guys next time.